The text I have chosen to do my meta-narrative on is related to energy systems of the body, and more specifically the myth of lactic acid causing fatigue, or metabolic acidosis. This relates to my content area of PE by explaining metabolic acidosis and how it relates to physical activity. Next, I will go ahead and read the text and explain a few strategies I use to help understand the text. So, as the text reads, lactic acidosis is a common misnomer, as lactic acid is inaccurately believed to cause the burning sensation experienced with muscle fatigue during high-intensity exercise. This is based on the assumption there is an immediate dissociation of lactic acid into lactate and hydrogen ion when produced by glycolysis in skeletal muscle. However, the phosphoglycerate kinase reaction of glycolysis involves the transfer of a phosphate leaving a carboxylate group, thus is shown in figure 3.4. No hydrogen proton exists to dissociate from lactate. Furthermore, the lactate dehydrogenase reaction itself consumes protons, which alkalizes the cell, quite the opposite of acidosis. In fact, Busa and Nusetti stated ATP hydrolysis, not lactate accumulation, is the dominant source of intracellular acid load. The take-home message from Robergs and colleagues is that the hydrolysis of ATP outside the mitochondria is primarily responsible for the proton hydrogen accumulation during exercise-induced metabolic acidosis, not the conversion of pyruvate to lactate, as is commonly believed. Consequently, the term lactic acidosis is indeed a misnomer, and the metabolic acidosis is recommended to describe the reduced pH within skeletal muscle during high-intensity fatiguing exercise. After reading that, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little confused at what's going on, and the picture quite simply does nothing to help explain that. But the first strategy I wanted to use was make a connection between the text and your life. So anytime I am doing anything strenuous or fatiguing, I question it and ask myself, why is this happening? Why am I getting fatigued? This figure and explanation helps describe it to me, and I can apply it to a real life situation. Secondly, by questioning the text to clarify ambiguity and deepen understanding. So, lactic acid does not cause metabolic acidosis. Everyone that you talk to about exercise says you get sore and fatigued from the buildup of lactic acid. This is false, and here is why. As we can see in the text, if you skip the picture and basically the whole first paragraph and go down to the results, it says, consequently, the term lactic acidosis is indeed a misnomer, and the term metabolic acidosis is recommended to describe the reduced pH within skeletal muscle during high-intensity fatiguing exercise. The third strategy I would like to use is determining importance in text to separate details from main ideas. As I said before, we can skip over all the organic chemistry and just read the intro and conclusion. By doing this, you can clearly hear the problem and find the answer without hearing all the confusing science, and know that the buildup of lactic acid doesn't cause fatigue. Lastly, by using another fix-up strategy as rereading, this will better help us comprehend the reading by slowing down and hearing the findings from the text again. By rereading, we can determine that the term lactic acidosis is a misnomer, and the term metabolic acidosis is a more accurate way to describe the reduced pH within skeletal muscle during high-intensity fatiguing exercise. Thank you.